Hello there. I'm Scotty You're not, and now that I have reviewed all the Bourne movies, it's time for me to rank all the Bourne movies from worst to best and give my opinions on them. Uh, if you want more in-depth feelings on them, go in to watch my reviews. But yeah, and then stay at the end because I'm going to tell you the future of this channel, basically, like what my next franchise is going to be, but what I'm doing before that next franchise, that sort of thing. So starting off at number 5, the worst of the bunch, bar none, probably obvious, is the Bourne Legacy. Now, to me, I said this before, it feels like a cash grab. It's like Universal wanted another Bourne film, but Paul Greengrass and Matt Damon said no. So they went to the writer, Tony Gilroy, and said, hey, you give us a new Bourne movie without Matt Damon, because he said no. You just give us one. And this is what they gave us. The action scenes are fine. I think the chemistry between the two leads are fine, but the story is just meh. It's presented as if this is the same thing as Jason Bourne, but it feels like it's a entirely different secret agent thing, but it has the Bourne name on it, and they sprinkle cameos from 3 characters at the end, just to call it that. Each of these Bourne films, for the most part, have this hook at the end of the film where the theme song plays. This, they just added a song at the end because they said it's a Bourne movie, you gotta have that song. And to me, this is the one where it just doesn't work, because all it is that they're looking at a map, and she's like, "Are we lost?" And he's like, "No, I think we're somewhere around here." And she's like, "Oh, I was hoping we were lost." And then the song starts playing. It's like, that's not where you put that song. That's not a line that you would put that song on. That's not a moment you would put that song on. It just doesn't work at all. And even the story is like, I don't want to say it's copying. They didn't copy and paste this by any means, but it feels just like a generic spy film. It doesn't feel like a Bourne film because it doesn't have that kind of thing. Like, they tried to copy the action scenes and the way it moves, but it doesn't work. And it comes off as boring for the most part. It just doesn't work. Coming in at number 4 is Jason Bourne. And like I said, the beginning of this is really good. The action scenes, the bike chase through a riot in Greece, even Nikki's death scene is done really well, even though I don't think she needed to die. It only serves to get Bourne out there again. And Tommy Lee Jones, Alicia Vikander, they're good in their roles. Same thing with Matt Damon. But then once you get into the grit of what the story actually is, the social media guy, it's just boring. It's nothing. It's like you had this hook, you had this going, and then you didn't have the story for the rest of the film. You only had a way for Bourne to come out of retirement, and that's it. And you had nothing. And also, I said this before, but I feel like the climax is reversed of what it should be, because they go from a confrontation in Dewey's office to a long ass motor chase scene into a long ass fight scene in a sewer, and then we have the hook. Whereas I feel like his confrontation with Dewey should have come last, after he fought the asset. It's a little backwards to me. I feel like it should have been the other way around. It just, after that scene, it felt like they should have wrapped things up. Whereas now I'm sitting through this long scene going, is this movie going to be over? I thought we were already done. We had that gunshot thing happen. We had that. It just, I don't know. Even if you took that out of there, the asset would still be out there, I guess. But you could continue another film. I don't know. But I did like the hook, at least. But coming in at number 3 is going to be the Bourne Identity. Now, from this point on, I really like all 3 of these, and so I'm not going to be much bad in them. This, to me, is, I don't want to say worst, the least best of the original trilogy. It has a lot of cool action scenes, but when you think of what represents Bourne, it has that stuff. It has little inklings, this is little budding flower things, whatever you call them, of what the Bourne franchise would become. You know, it has the flashback stuff. It has the action scenes. It has the hook at the end. Stuff that would be furthered upon in the other films. Yeah. And it works real well. I just feel that out of the other two, this is the lesser one. Lesser of the original three for me. It's a good movie, by all means. But it just, I don't know. If I go back to watch, of course, I'm going to have to watch the first three at least. But number two is going to be the Bourne Supremacy. And this is where the franchise really takes off for me. You get Paul Greengrass in his first installment in this series. Sorry, my nose is itching like hell. And then you get the impact of, Marie's death. And he's going full stop trying to stop these things. Abbott's a little more of, he's a little bit better in this. You get the conflict with Pamela Landy. You get her introduced. And I think she's a great character. Action scenes are good. They're shaky, like I said before. Like, the action scenes in these films aren't the best. I think Jason Bourne might have one of the best action scenes in this franchise, to be honest. But I'm just saying. And I love the hook at the end of this, where he's like, "You look tired," and she's like, I love that. And yeah, I feel like this is a great thriller type film. Like, it has more going for it than the first one. But my number one, of course, is the Bourne Ultimatum. And this is like the cherry on top of a sundae, really. As you're going through these films, this is the one. And if it ended here, I think it would have been fine. Clearly, there was more story to tell. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Because as Jason Bourne proves, they had a little bit of story to tell with his father, but then had to cover their ass with this whole media mogul thing, social media mogul thing. Maybe they didn't have any more to tell after this, but this closes the first three, the trilogy at least, closes that, and ends it with the exposure of Blackbriar and everything, which Blackbriar is mentioned at the end of the first film and not brought up till here. I love how this takes place like within the same time frame as Supremacy, which, again, I forgot to mention in my review of Jason Bourne, but that takes place 12 years later. First I was confused, like, how's it 12? Between 2007 and 2016, that's only 9. And I forgot that Ultimatum takes place like right in the same time as Supremacy. So it's still 2004 in this movie, not 2007. So, yeah, you got to really think of that when it comes to the timeline there. This is 2004, not 2007. It's at the same time. The end of Bourne Supremacy is actually the middle of the Bourne Ultimatum. So, yeah, it's a little weird. It's a Saw-type twist. With a twist, Shyamalan, boom, 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 boom. But I think this is the best of the Bourne films. It has the best action scenes. I think it has some of the best, maybe dialogue, some of the best camera work too, I think. The whole, like, there's a lot of scenes where you see people jumping. Like, you watch Marvel movies, Captain America go out of windows. Jason Bourne is jumping from outside into windows, whereas Captain America is jumping outside, through the windows to the outside, where he's jumping through the windows to the inside, and I don't know, I think it works. I think Matt Damon makes it work, and that's why it's the best of the movies for me. So, obviously I need to go blow my nose, but I do have, that's my ranking. So what do you think my ranking? I'm going to come slow. What's your ranking of these movies in the comments? So, going forward, my next franchise is going to be the Children of the Corn movies. Because I just did Children of the Corn 2 for Stephen King Saturday Night. Although I had that recorded for like a month now. And I've been wanting to do these sequels. So those are coming up. But I've also reached a bit of a problem in doing this franchise and trying to record those things. I'm behind, doing the To Be Tuesdays and stuff. I'm behind on 2023 movies. I have a stack of movies over there that I have not reviewed yet, like Super Mario Brothers, John Wick, Renfield. There's a stack of them that I need to review yet. And so, I think what I'm going to do, don't quote me on it, is I'm going to try to get through most of those, if not all of them, and then do the Children of the Corn. Just because I feel like, that might push back. I feel like I need to get those done. That might push back. That might push back my next pick 10. Because I'm going to do pick 10 Scotty's Choice. That's my next one. But if I'm doing those, it's probably going to lead to the beginning of the month. I might be able to still do it in the middle of the month. I don't know. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.